Yo, check it. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, ape and apeettes, we're going to be coming at you with another update from DataZero. In this video, we're looking at SPY, cryptocurrency, the overall stock and crypto market, the meme stocks. We're going to be checking out the charts, the facts, the data, and making predictions based off fundamental and technical analysis. This video is not financial advice and should not be taken as such. Please do your own research and due diligence before buying any stock or crypto asset. With that being said, let's not waste no more of your precious time and hop in the charts, the facts, the data, showing you guys exactly what's happening for the rest of this week based off of this data analysis. Let's go.
All right, what is up? You are back for another video with DataZero. In this video, we're looking at AMC, GME, and SPY. This is your daily update and prediction for stocks and crypto. Everything you need to know as a trader and investor. This video is not financial advice and should not be taken as such. Please do your own research and due diligence before buying any stock or crypto asset. With that being said, let's go and hop in the charts, the facts, the data, showing you guys exactly what is popping off for the rest of this week. First, we're going to get into what we have here as far as earnings are concerned. So things that you need to know, we have Microsoft, Google, and Meta earnings. Microsoft, Google, and Meta earnings coming out this week. And then, of course, we also do have a major news dropping with durable goods month over month. This happens Wednesday. GDP, which happens on Thursday. And then, of course, core PCE, personal income, and personal spending month over month on Friday. The biggest thing I think is going to be that GDP rating, as you guys can see, sitting at about 2.5, consensus 2.3 forecast, which means it's probably going to be lower than the previous level of a 3.4, which means GDP is moving down. Now, this is quarter over quarter on GDP, so we will be looking at that, and that is showing that inflation is elevated and growth is little to none, which is literal stagflation. This is not an economy where you should see stocks rallying. And, of course, I think this will have an effect as well. If we got another Fed interest rate hike, let's say the Fed says we're going to raise rates, the market is absolutely going to come crashing down, okay? So if the Fed says that they have to raise rates, if we get another hot inflation report, you guys are going to see a reckoning like you've never seen. Now, I'm not saying that is what's going to be happening. I'm not trying to paint a doom and gloom scenario. I'm just letting you know that that is a potentiality, that if they do say, hey, we need to raise rates, what's going to end up happening is you guys are going to see a crash begin, and it's going to be a flash crash, and it's going to be nasty. So it went from rate cuts to no rate cuts, and I told you guys with the Fed not raising rates over 5.5, it just wasn't enough. And I told you guys inflation would be coming back. I told you guys a second wave of inflation would be coming, and I told you guys if you heard it here, you heard it here first on this channel. That's why you want to press like and subscribe. We are ahead of the curve. We are not following the narrative. We are following the data, and as the data is saying, inflation is not going away. The Fed did not do what they needed to do by raising rates over the inflation levels, so that's why we're seeing inflation come back, and it remains very, very sticky. So the overall bubble seems to be popping, in my personal opinion, but we will be covering this thing each and every day, taking it one step at a time. That way we can make profits each and every day, taking home a bag weekly. Now, SQQQ having a pump to the upside, moving all the way to $12.93. They're moving back down to about $12.25 before getting a bounce. If you go ahead and look at what happened with SPY, SPY also broke out of a falling wedge today, which I identified earlier on stream. We got the falling wedge breakout, went up to about 502.36. Nice breakout. Now we're starting to move back to the upside. It looks like it wants to try to reclaim that 500 level, but still SPY showing a lot of weakness. Really wasn't expecting it to see reverse so quickly. As you guys can see, it went all the way up to about 502.38 and then got a reversal underneath 500, which is what we didn't expect because we expected it to hold that 500 level. I do believe that it is going to try to hold 500 and make an overall arcing pattern. So basically what you're going to see out of SPY is SPY try to work its way up, back to the upside, to around 504, and that's where I think it would end up topping out if it did get a significant rally, if it can manage to muster a little bit more strength. Now, what's very, very peculiar here on SPY is that the MACD on the hourly time frame already is curling down, so this could be potentially everything we are going to see, but it is a little too early to say on that. From my personal opinion and perspective, it looks like we will try to claim 500 again tomorrow, move to the upside, and then probably push up to about 504, 502, around that range before topping out. What I don't think we'll be able to do is break the levels of 505 or 504, so I think that the maximum amount of rally that we would see would be to those levels before SPY would end up moving to the downside. And again, rallies on SPY right now are meant to be shorted. I do believe that. And dips on SQQQ are meant to be bought. I do believe that. As the trend is down, the trend is your friend, and we are in a very, very powerful downtrend, which I don't think is to be underestimated. Again, very, very powerful downtrend. Right now, on the smaller time frames, we are seeing green MACD. We are on those extreme oversold territories on SPY, so we did have to see a bounce, but we are now out of those oversold territories on some of these higher time frames. We are back inside of the band, so we could see a continuation to the downside. I'm thinking we're going to see a bounce up to those lower levels and then continue down, in my personal opinion. When do I think this is going to be happening? I do think around Wednesday we could start seeing more downside and more significant downside. I do think tomorrow could be a little bit more bullishness, as we did get a green day today as well. We had all of those red days in a row, so expecting a bounce is what's going to be happening as we get back and reposition, and I do think we are going to continue to the downside, in my personal opinion. So maybe bullishness tomorrow and then maybe Wednesday, but I do think the later half of the week, Thursday, possibly Wednesday and Friday, are going to be more bearishness as we continue this overall downtrend and top at that 525 level. So this is what I'm looking at for SPY and the overall market, and pretty much everything involved in that. Again, you guys can tune into the live stream for live updates and predictions, as I will have those as things roll out. But this is what I'm pretty much looking at for SPY and what I'm thinking is going to be happening. Again, on the macro, moving up slightly, having a rally, and then fizzling out and moving to the downside. This could happen as early as tomorrow, where we could get a pop to the upside and then start to move down, or maybe a little bit into Wednesday, and then Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, start moving back down to the downside. In my personal opinion, NASDAQ getting hit the hardest. As you guys can see, I think NASDAQ's going to make an overall shape as well. Try to get up to this gap fill, but if NASDAQ can't even muster enough strength to get up to this gap fill, which it looks like might be happening, we could be seeing an issue, especially with these earnings coming up. Things could get crazy this week, okay? We have GDP, and then we have these earnings, so things could get absolutely crazy this week. Even if these miss by a little bit with this market condition, it's going to be absolutely devastating. So we want to watch these earnings very, very closely and pay attention to these things, and those are tech stocks. So if they do well, SQQQ will pull back, but if they don't, SQQQ will also see a big pump to the upside. SQQQ needed to pull back, guys. It was absolutely rocketing. If you look what happened at SQQQ the past couple of days, just going straight up. But if you look at what's happening here on the daily time frame, you guys can see that we are still outside of the bands, back in that overbought territory, coming back out of it, but we were in that overbought territory. Still out of the bands, but still could be in a possible huge parabolic move to the upside. So we really need to see what happens here. If SPY cannot muster enough strength and then starts losing these lower levels and comes back down to that 492 region and loses that 492 support, you're going to see SPY absolutely start tanking. So again, things could get crazy this week. It is not over. This is still a long week. We still have a long week ahead of us. But I'm thinking rallies are meant to be shorted on SPY, and the sides, we are going to be moving down. The trend is going to be moving down. So that's what I'm looking at in my personal opinion. Now for GameStop, guys. GameStop attempts to be bottoming here. You guys can see on the daily MACD starting to curl up. This is showing bullish signs. As you guys can see, we're trying to hold that $10 level. So GameStop, I think, could be making a bottom. The reason why I think GameStop is bottoming, and some people might say this is crazy, but I believe that AMC is potentially making a bottom. AMC almost up 50% from the lows. As you guys can see, AMC pumping to the upside. Another green day on AMC. Started out rough. People started to freak out. I called out in the live stream. I said, hey, AMC most likely is going to be moving back to the upside. I told you guys it was going to be bottoming in the live stream. I said around $3. AMC getting a beautiful bottom off of $3. And again, we're up over 47% off the lows right now. And then it got a beautiful bottom off of the lows of that $3. And I told you guys during the live stream, I said most likely AMC is going to not only break back above $3, but break 325 today and pump higher. And we did break that 325 level. I told you guys in the weekly outlook and prediction that if we broke 325, we're going to see a big pump to the upside to about 350. We went straight up to $3.49. So we were 1 penny off with that range. If we do break above and hold 350, ladies and gentlemen, you will see another move for AMC stock. We are in this inverse head and shoulder structure that we talked about in the weekly outlook and prediction. As you guys can see, we pushed to the upside, broke above that 325 level, which I talked about over this weekend. Use those sell walls as buy walls now, where we flipped those to buy orders. People are now buying at these lower levels. They're buying the dip. Day traders are buying the dip. Money, big money buying the dip. So we are seeing buy walls underneath holding us up, and it looks like AMC is setting up to try to push above $3.50 and make another move to the upside. And again, if we break and hold $3.50, we're going to get a decent gamma ramp to the upside. The real goal for us on AMC is breaking $4. But ladies and gentlemen, it is going to come very, very soon where $5 is back on the cards for AMC stock. You guys can see we have 27,000 calls expiring in the money. If we can break and hold $4 this week, this could get absolutely insane, especially if the market sees another leg to the downside as early as this week, okay? So we could see things get crazy for the meme stocks. Now, GME, I potentially think, is trying to make a bottom off of this $10 level. As you guys can see, GME trying to hold that level. It did make a gap fill to the downside here. We are going to be looking at this very, very closely to see if we can get this double, triple bottom structure for GME off of this $10 level. This is what I talked about in the weekly update and prediction as well. GME trying to hold that $10 level to potentially getting a double bottom type structure where we can move up to this gap fill and make that overall double bottom type structure that we're looking for on GME. As you guys can see, bounce number 2, bounce number 1. This would be bounce number 2, and that would take us moving back to the upside. So that's what I'm looking at for GME. I do think it is going to bottom, especially if AMC continues rallying to the upside. And this is what I'm looking at for the overall meme stocks. AMC, I think in the morning is probably going to try to make a test for this 342 level. 342 is the last support and resistance before we get above that $3.50 level where we could see a decent push. I think we're going to have to move back to the downside. As far as shares available to borrow, 450,000. So I think we're going to have to move back to the downside, retesting these lower lows before springing back to the upside. AMC does this often, has to come back down, but it can spring right back to the upside. So do not get discouraged. Those are very, very good dip buy opportunities. AMC overall today moving over 14% or 16% from the high and the lows. So that is a very good day trade opportunity. For if apes make money, hey, I'm happy with it. Some people are against day trading AMC, but if you can make some money, especially to stack some for free AMC, especially off the house, you should probably take advantage of the opportunities. Not financial advice, but as you guys can see, and also day trading helps bid it up and helps make these moves possible. But as you guys can see, I do think we're going to be moving back to the downside and then springing back to the upside. But I'm telling you guys right now, if we can break above 342 in the morning and then start rallying to 350, things get crazy pretty quick. 350 is where the gamma ramp is for AMC stock, where we could see significant move going towards that $4 level where the real gamma ramp would really lay. So if we can get above 350, we could see a decent pop. But $4 is where things could get really crazy, especially if we can move up quickly for this week, moving all the way down from this lower range up to that level. A SPY, again, possibly making an inverse head and shoulders. That would have us popping to the upside quickly to like 305, 304, around that range. But then I think that will quickly fizzle out, in my personal opinion, as momentum is mostly to the downside. We're looking for this to happen tomorrow on SPY, so don't be caught off guard if you do see it pop to the upside. It's like an inverse head and shoulders. Right here's your shoulder, right here's your head, right here's your shoulder. It's made a little one here, and that's building onto what would be a bigger one. Right here's a little one, right here's your, and that led into this, and now it could lead into a larger one where this would be your shoulder, this would be your head, and all of this is your shoulder, bringing you back to the upside on SPY to around 503, 504. So that's what I'm looking at for SPY. AMC, GME. Hopefully you found this video informative. If you did, go ahead and drop a like, press subscribe for more content like this. As far as BTC is concerned, BTC also made a nice push to the upside. BTC making an inverse head and shoulder structure as well. If SPY rallies, BTC should see a little bit of momentum with that. BTC also decoupling from the market. This is exactly what we want to see. As NASDAQ was dumping, Bitcoin held strong. A lot of people say NASDAQ is correlated with Bitcoin and Bitcoin is correlated with NASDAQ. They also say it's correlated with the dollar. It's starting to defy that as the dollar is pushing up, but Bitcoin is defying that as well. Dollar elevated is going to be bad for SPY. VIX still highly elevated, not as high as it was, left a little gap fill to the upside. VIX, if we see it pop up again, we know that things could be kicking off, so we want to be watching the VIX as well. And again, with the dollar elevated, that's going to be bad for SPY. Bitcoin defying all of it and still holding to the upside, not breaking 60K. As long as Bitcoin can remain above 60K, I'm bullish. Now the fact that we're holding 65.5K, which is a significant level as support, it looks like we could be making a move back to 69.2K, and that would be crazy for BTC and also proof that we could be making a new high than that 73K level. This is everything I have for you guys in this video. If you found it informative, go ahead and drop a like, press subscribe for more updates and predictions like this, and I'll be going live tomorrow, so around 9:30, 9:15 a.m. tune into the live stream, and I will be going live. You can tune into the channel. And as always, if you made it this far in the video, I truly appreciate you because few people watch at the end. Press like and subscribe to help the channel, help boost the video. It helps out immensely, whether you believe it or not. It really does. It lets the algorithm know this is the place to be and helps put it out there to more people, which helps me greatly. And it's a way to do it for absolutely free. As always, y'all, have fun, stay safe, make money. Peace out.
Alright guys, that's the video. If you found it informative, go ahead and drop a like and press subscribe for more content like this. Remember, you can check me out on Twitter and Discord for even more DataZero updates. And as always, I appreciate each and every one of you for watching this video, especially if you watched to the end to see this message, because so few people watch to the end. And as always, y'all, have fun, stay safe, make money.